Sorry if you guys see me flip my hair throughout. I just don't know what to do with it. Welcome back to Cass Talks. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I am super excited for today's video. I've been teasing this video a bit in some of my videos and vlogs, so I'm happy to finally get to it. This is probably one of the videos I've worked the hardest on in the background. It kind of came first as just a concept from just discussing so many finance things, and I was like, you know what, I kind of want to make this into a video topic. And then as I did more research, I was like, yes, this is gonna be a great Cass Talks episode. So welcome back to the bathroom. Let's get into it. So today's episode is pretty much about why being a Black woman is so expensive. And so right now, as you guys may or may not know, I am in the midst of a debt-free journey. So I've been taking you guys along with me, vlog style, just going through life and the little moments where I have to make decisions that will impact my ultimate debt payoff plan, as well as just moments of struggle, reflections, highlights, and all of that in between on my debt journey. So definitely follow along if you guys want to see that. But just looking at some of the things in my budget, some of the things I've spent a lot of money on, and reflecting over why that was, a lot of it just had to do with just how I grew up because of being a Black woman. So this is pretty much a think piece. It is highly and heavily opinionated. I will have some research, but just know this is not an official research video. This is me discussing what I've observed personally in my life and just observed in general. I also want to state that none of this is anything that Black women necessarily have to do. None of this is like you have to do this just because you're a Black woman. It's just how society is shaped that makes you feel the need to do this, and you kind of grow up feeling like this is the mold you need to fit. So again, I'm not saying any of this has to be done. I'm just saying we are in a society and within a culture that it does almost feel like it does have to be, but it does not. So I would like to start this video looking back at one quote that has stuck with me since the day that I heard it on an episode of Scandal, and it was that you have to be twice as good as them to get half of what they have. So that quote that's honestly the first time I heard that quote, and it's pretty much stuck with me since in almost everything I do, and it's going to play a huge role and be a good reference point throughout this entire video. If you do not know this quote, this is from Scandal and Olivia Pope's dad, Olivia Pope's main character. She kind of works in the world of politics, which is obviously heavily saturated with a certain race. So he's kind of explaining to her, because she's kind of getting lost in the sauce, like, girl, like, you can't really mess up like they mess up. You have to be twice as good as them just to be near what they have. So that's kind of the reference from that quote if you have not seen that scene. So I've kind of categorized this video into 5 different topics and pretty much 5 different aspects where life is just more expensive for Black women. Number 1, just being the general wealth gap. At the end of the day, if you look at the statistics, if you look at the numbers, Black women are paid less. Black women are paid less in any industries, etc. So there's already just a gap as far as how much income and wealth Black women could build, especially single Black women. And we'll get more into just relationships and how those pertain to finances if you don't already know. But the wealth gap, it's a big one. I'm probably not going to spend a lot of time on it because I feel like just enough said, there's a huge wealth gap. So what is one of your greatest wealth building tools? Your income. So what to do when you're just not gonna have as high of an income just because of who you are. Okay, so the next topic I wanted to get into is the professional beauty tax. This one, I think I have this one probably is kind of a big one that started the video. I've showed you guys like me doing my own hair last video, just as an example of ways that I'm saving money to pay off my debt. And so this is one of the big ones that really kind of gave me the inspiration behind this video. And that's pretty much just primarily Black women just have to spend more money on beauty maintenance. And that is only because natural hair is just considered unprofessional in a lot of ways. I even have a personal experience with this where I went into work. I used to just it was during an internship. I was doing a communications internship. which was crazy. My boss was actually a Black woman, and I would just like go in, like I would just wash my hair and just let it dry, and like it would pretty much dry in like a fro and just do that. And she actually pulled me aside about my hair and asked me to make it more neat or clean it up or comb my hair, I think is what she said. And at the time, I was so young. I think that was like my first internship after my freshman year of college. I wasn't really thinking too hard about it. I know there's been things passed like the Crown Act. I know there's been so many news articles out there in this realm. And so therefore, since natural hair and just what natural hair actually looks like when you just wash it and let it dry is not considered professional, then Black women almost have to put in extra money, extra time into hair care just to fit professional standards to get that job that they're going to get paid less. Ultimately, the price of beauty is just going to be more expensive to maintain the look that's considered professional. And that's pretty much just Eurocentric norms. So just, the straighter the hair, the more neat the hair, the more combed through the hair, then it's considered to be more professional. So trying to fit into those Eurocentric norms that are considered more professional or more beautiful or XYZ is very costly and is a tough transformation from your natural state of hair to get to that point. It's time consuming. You could do it on your own, but again, then you're taking time, and time, as we all know, is money. So ultimately, you're paying more. Life is just more expensive in the realm of beauty to be a Black woman. The next one I want to go into is education tax. I did kind of dabble in this when I was talking about my student loans and how I did go to a private school for undergrad. I went to Howard University, shout out HU, and I'm now in a really big school for grad school. And mostly I was looking at schools with names and alumni and networks. When it came to deciding what schools, I wasn't necessarily looking at the cost. I just knew I was going to take out loans to go there. And that's just goes back to the quote, you have to be twice as good to get half of what they have. So there's a bit more pressure to go to more elite schools to reach the levels and get those careers and those salaries that are at least close to our counterparts who are doing similar things or even went to a school that's maybe not considered as elite or well known or does not have as big as of an alumni network. So there's, again, just that thing there that you don't have to do. You don't have to go to a more elite school because you're a Black woman, but you feel the need to do to keep up. So ultimately, in the realm of professionalism and trying to ease this wealth gap, you're paying more for your beauty, you're paying more for your education, you're going into these top schools, these top programs, getting these top degrees so that you can at least like tread water. I feel like I can go deeper in on education and just talking about just the generational gaps as well between different education. And I remember my mom telling me, like, me being, I think I'm like a 5th generation college graduate, was like a huge deal. And just looking back and being like, dang, yeah, like when I look at my friends who are posting on graduation, like a lot of them were 1st generation. So that's definitely something that's going to domino and that's going to spiral and that's going to ultimately impact, the next generation. So that goes all the way. We could go all the way back to discuss where that has come from. And obviously this whole video is based off of some even deeper issues that, that have yet to be dealt with. So yeah, but we're going to keep it here. We're going to keep it on this level. Next, like I mentioned, I wanted to go back into the relationship because relationship has a lot to do with finances and financial independence and just growing wealth. And only about 31% of Black Americans are married. That's one of the stats that I found. Also, to this stat, white women from the same economic backgrounds are much more likely to have a partner with income than a Black woman. So even if a Black woman is in a relationship, there's a high chance that her partner is not bringing in a lot of income or not bringing in income at all. Married households in general accumulate 3 to 4 times more wealth than single households. So that's kind of where I was going with only 31% of Black Americans being married. And I don't even know. I don't even know if I could find the stats. Yeah, I don't have the stat about Black women in particular. So that number is probably even lower in that realm. But yeah, so again, that opens up that wealth gap right there because of the lack of relationships. Black women are most likely to be the primary breadwinners. They're more likely to support extended family members. Like I said, a lot of education and wealth and things are just now happening in this generation for the Black community. So a lot of family members are leaning on that support from Black women. So it just creates a lot of lot more financial pressure in that situation. When you have more people that are dependent on you, you have less of a support system, and ultimately that's going to lead to a bit more financial hardship. My last burden that I wanted to discuss was just the mental health burden from all of these things I mentioned, from just having to deal with getting paid less than your counterparts, from having to spend more time and more money on to look professional and look the part, spending more money into your education and going to more elite schools and trying to stand out amongst your peers in certain scenarios and certain networking opportunities arise, as well as just the relationship gap. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot to deal with, and that could obviously lead to a lot of stress, a lot of chronic stress, not just from this, like, yes, you're dealing with everything wealth and finance wise, which is already stressful, but you're dealing with discrimination, you're dealing with high expectations in certain scenarios. So there's maybe more doctor's visits, more medical costs. That's a whole other issue that we could just get into, is just Black women and not getting the health care and medical attention they need, burnout, which could lead to missed work days. So it's a lot. And honestly, we Black women, we handle it extremely gracefully. We will carry the whole world on our shoulders, and you guys would not think that we were going through a dang thing. I honestly will personally say, yes, I'm a Black woman. I've grown up very privileged to come from 5 generations of education, so I was able to learn about financial responsibility, financial literacy, and get the education that I needed. But at the same time, I'm still in this boat. I'm still trying to pay down these loans from these elite schools. I'm still putting the time into getting my hair to look, as professional as possible every day. I'm still going to more elite schools and choosing programs that are considered in the top of MBA program right now, for example. Luckily, I've been blessed in the relationship department, but there's still that gap in general for Black marriages. It's unfortunate. But we rise and we move through it. Look how far we've come, guys. So I have no doubts that we will overcome, for sure. But I just wanted to say it's not the same playing field for everyone. I watch a lot of financial videos, a lot of financial commentary, a lot of people calling into the Dave Ramsey show, the Caleb Hammer show, and then just people who do commentary on TikToks and this and that. I watch it a lot, and it really helps motivate me with my journey, but a lot of times I have to look at certain people in certain situations and be like, okay, well, they have a much different experience than what we have as Black women. So, and that's just a part of it, ultimately, at the end of the day. No, that does not mean that that's our excuse to make poor financial decisions or anything. It's just there are things holding us back that make it a little bit tougher to get there. So I don't want people to think like, dang, they just did it so fast, or how did they know to not get into debt, or how did they know to pay it off at such a young age? How did they get to the point where they have this much in retirement by 30? But they were educated, they knew where to go, they knew where to get the resources, and we weren't. We're coming from a generation that's very keeping up with the Joneses, that maybe for the first time accumulated the wealth necessary to reach the middle class and buy the expensive name brands. And maybe that wasn't the smartest financial decision ultimately, but at the time it was like, we finally got it, let's flaunt it, let's use it. So again, I'm not giving you guys a get out of jail free card to go crazy, my ladies, but I'm just stating that there is things that people need to look at when it comes to that financial gap and that financial hardship. And that's in general. I'm not just talking about Black women. I just felt like that was the best for me to talk about because that's what I am. But it's across the board. There's different financial situations that hit different people differently. So I'm going to kind of read from my notes because my notes are freaking good. And I'm like, they're just not flowing out of my head right now. What this does mean is that you can take a breath, because as hard as you're working, there is indeed so much that is working against you. And it's okay not to be the strong one all the time. And it's okay to take a break. It's okay to feel burnt out. It's okay to feel like you can't carry the world on your shoulders right now. It is 100% okay, because not everyone's doing that, and there's no expectation that you need to do that. Yes, the world's not in our favor, but if you believe in God, then you're good, and you have someone extremely powerful on your side, so you're going to be okay. Within this video, I just wanted to also emphasize the importance of financial literacy, because the last thing you want to worry about on top of everything going on in society, everything targeting Black women, is money and finances. So a lot of money and finances is consistency, knowledge, as well as behavioral. So a lot of it is just knowing what you need to do, getting into the behaviors that will make you do it, and consistently doing those behaviors, and that can lead you to financial freedom. It is math at the end of the day. It may be that you have a little less to work with, a little less margin, but use that financial literacy and try to just make one less thing in your life stressful. Some of the tips I have for this that have been kind of helping me recently is obviously hardcore budgeting. Yes, if you want to have beauty, I'm not saying to cut beauty maintenance or cut any of these things, just put them into a budget, so at least you know how much you're spending on them compared to how much you're actually bringing in. And maybe when you see it, you'll be like, you know what, like this extra money could speed up this debt payoff faster, could open up my investments this much more. Maybe I'm willing to learn to DIY this. Maybe I'm willing to DIY my pedicures for now, just because I see what that looks like in my budget and I see what opportunity that brings. Maybe I'm willing to DIY my hair for now. So I think it's just good to know the numbers, look at the numbers. Even nail salons, like I have them print me receipts. I have breakdowns. I took pictures of it every single time so I can compare, so I know exactly what I'm paying when I go to the nail salon every time, and I know exactly how much to budget for that. So definitely make sure, if you don't know, and add the tip in there that you're going to pay, how much you're spending in all of these departments and putting them into your budget. Also looking for free social activities. I think a lot of times it's, let's go to brunch, let's go out, let's go to this event. I've been trying to push my friends more toward like, hey, instead of brunch, what if we like go to the park, walk the loop, like grab a coffee maybe, and then just walk the loop for an hour, get 3 miles in, like. And no one has not loved that idea. Like everyone I've told that to is like, absolutely, like, you mean I get in a workout, I get to chat with my girls, and I get a coffee, and I get some sun, and I get to go out? Like, no one hates that idea. So just keep that in mind. And then one thing that helped me as well was taking a break from social media. I've honestly been on a pretty long break. I think I've consistently not had social media downloaded on my phone since July of 2025. I do go on the browser version just to like check my DMs, and I'll watch like a few stories, and and then I will download it if I'm going to post something on my story or post something. But other than that, I don't consistently have the app, so I don't have that like feeling of checking it every however many seconds that I was checking it. I definitely check it a lot less now that I just use the browser, and that was pretty much just to help me in this journey. A lot of times I see what other people are doing, and I get highly motivated. I don't know about everyone else, but I get like, oh shoot, like I can create this business, I can go do this, I can go on that trip. Like I definitely get really motivated, which I thought was a good thing. I was like, okay, well, social media motivates me. But then I realized, like, Cassie, you don't need to do everything. You don't need to do all of this right now. Like just focus on one thing. And so social media was making it hard for me to do that. So therefore, I've taken a very, very long break from it, and it honestly feels great. Every once in a while, I have a little inkling like, oh, should I re-download TikTok? But I'm just like, no, it's definitely going to make me want to spend a little bit more than I do when I'm not on it. So yeah, it also makes me think about things like, would I go on this vacation if I couldn't post it? Would I go here if I couldn't post it? And a lot of times the answer is no. Like a lot of times I just want to go because I feel like it will look good on my social media and look good on my feed. So it'll also hopefully get you thinking like that, or maybe that's just me. So guys, at the end of the day, we are dealing with racism, sexism, beauty standards, economic inequality dang near every single day. And it's not okay. It's not. And it's definitely not easy to deal with, and we shouldn't have to deal with it. But unfortunately, this is the world that we live in currently. I don't know what the solution is. And like I said, I had just put all my trust in God. I forgive myself. I am patient with myself, and I give myself some grace, the same grace that I give other people around me. That was hard for me at first. I was very much so. If I had a day that I wanted to rot and I didn't get done what I was planning on getting done, that was very hard on me, and I just felt like a failure from that. But now I'm just like, no, Cassidy, do you realize what you're dealing with? on a regular basis, even things that you don't even see, things that are subconsciously just happening in the background that you don't even know is happening against you. It's okay to be patient with yourself. It's okay to give yourself grace because there's a lot happening. The only thing you can really focus on and worry about is what you can control. So I encourage you to make the decision that will give you some peace of mind in this world that's constantly trying to take it away. And at the end of the day, you can control your finances. You can control the money decisions that you make. So look into that. Like I said, make a little budgie. Find out how much you're paying for all this. And just try to make the best decisions because we have a new generation coming in and we're going to be responsible for what's next. So thank you guys so much for watching. I don't even know. This video felt so much quicker than I thought it was. I'm like, more time definitely went into research and thought. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it makes sense what I was trying to say. Keep on keeping on. Love you guys. Bye.